In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most difficult aspects in astrology, and that is moon opposite Pluto or moon square Pluto. They're very similar but different, and I'm going to talk about their differences. In my opinion, and a lot of other astrologers who understand aspects, we're talking about aspects. Aspects reveal the dynamics between our different parts, the different parts of ourselves. And when we have oppositions, that usually means that we are denying one part, right? One part of ourselves, and we're embracing the other, or the other way around. We are not able to act in unison. We are either or. And when we choose between these two sides, it's usually, the other side that we are kind of repressing usually happens in oppositions, and especially Pluto is something that we hate in ourselves or dislike actively or are unaware. When it comes to squares, however, squares are all about the tension, the conflict that we have between two parts of ourselves. But we are aware of these two different parts of ourselves, whereas the opposition is where we are rejecting one way of being because we dislike it, and we're just burying it completely and acting from another, okay, unless it gets triggered or activated by planets or people in our life. When you have a Pluto complex, especially in opposition or square, it's going to be very prominent in your behavior, and it's going to affect your subconscious mind. It's going to affect your practical life. It's sooner or later you will have to deal with it, okay? And I would say this is the ultimate kind of awakening, the ultimate transformation, because remember, themes of Pluto, themes of 8th house, Scorpio, it's all about release, transformation, release of the past, so that we can adopt a new version of ourselves that is able to deal with the realities, the harsh realities, the truth, okay? And still be invincible, still stay strong and powerful and know how to manipulate energies of the world. That's all 8th house, Pluto, Scorpio, the highest expression of it. Now, the lowest, the darkest expression of it is jealousy, is comparing, jealousy, comparing oneself, actually, subconsciously wishing something onto others. The feeling of powerlessness can make them wish something onto others. And it's not them, it's just Pluto ways I'm talking about, okay? So whoever will have a Pluto complex will be familiar with both the dark and the light side of the Pluto. People who are just Sun and Scorpio are very different from people who have Pluto complex. Please remember that. I would call Scorpio Suns without like any other major aspect or karmic, more of a darker, side of the 8th house. Unless it's involved, they are going to be rejecting that side of Pluto, closing their eyes, because they understand the darkness and they just don't want to go there. Whereas the people with Pluto complex, like Pluto opposite moon, Pluto opposite sun, these people are just like they will go to that darkness regardless. So 8th house represents all things taboo, things that are hidden from us, hidden from our awareness. Pluto is not the most conscious part of ourselves. That's why when I say Scorpio suns are different from people with Pluto complex, especially, opposite moon, we have two unconscious parts of ourselves coming together and being opposite or squaring each other. When we have moon and when we have Pluto, is something that's hidden from our own awareness. We don't even see the forces, the beliefs, the traumas, everything that we've acquired throughout life that is driving us and our behaviors to this day. Very intuitive, extremely intuitive, understand the undercurrents of everything, and that can actually become a problem for them because they realize the harsh realities of life, right? They see the human nature for what it is. So when we have Pluto opposite moon situation going on, a moon is a part of you that wants to just fuck everything and relax, okay? It doesn't want to work, it doesn't want to do anything, and depending on where your moon is, what zodiac it's in, is going to determine how you like to relax. Now, the aspects with Pluto will determine whether you can easily relax or not. So the moon, let's say moon in Taurus, right? Moon in Taurus will have this natural ability, it's exalted, right? So it has a natural ability to feel the present moment, to not be bugged by, all this nonsense, the system, the world. They like to isolate and preserve their peace. And they know how to do that. They know even the activities that are making them more peaceful, right? So they try to kind of do those, which make them go into the comfort zone. Now, moon, even if you don't have moon in Taurus, it still applies to you, okay? Moon is what you love to do, to relax, to feel calm, to feel nurtured, to feel good within your body. Now, when you bring in Pluto into the mix, into the opposite moon, that just literally chaos. opposite moon, meaning you can't relax, you can't let go, you can't do what you really want to do to feel nurtured, because things in your life happened so consistently and in a patterned way that you are noticing. Probably if you're in your 30s, you've noticed that. Maybe late 20s, you've noticed that as soon as you relax, as soon as you like, think that you arrived, something unpredictable happens. And over time, it has trained you to kind of expect that, right? So when it comes to love, these people are very, very scared to trust emotionally and to really be vulnerable with people. For them to feel this vulnerability, right, means Pluto, means chaos, means something unpredictable will happen. If they're vulnerable, like they're used to this pattern, and it follows them in money, it follows them in love, it follows them everywhere. As soon as they're trying to go into the moon, Pluto is like, nope, nope. And they're getting used to that. They become anxious. They become very anxious. And they get to a point where it starts to affect their bodies. It starts to affect because they can't act from, both. They're rejecting Pluto. They see it as no, like I said, right? Opposition is like rejecting one side of ourselves and trying to embrace the other. But if it is in an unbalanced way, which it is, you have to embrace both, even the darkness, right? Own that part of you instead of rejecting it. But since it's opposition, we don't know how to do that. So the mind automatically goes into one way or the other. Usually it rejects Pluto. It becomes such a problem in relationships, actually, where a person can't just open up like to anyone. As soon as they get close with others, as soon as they become vulnerable, that's when this opposition starts to work on them. They disappear. They can disappear. They have to isolate because they feel that they're getting attached, they're getting vulnerable. And remember, when they're vulnerable, what happens? Some chaos, some death, right, from Pluto. So they're already expecting that subconsciously, and it drives their behavior to remove themselves from the connection, remove themselves from the environment. And eventually, they realize that they can't keep going like this because they're going to isolate themselves so much. And what they're going to do in life. So it becomes a problem. Eventually, they'll have to deal with that, especially in love. In love, it's pretty difficult because you can't trust anybody. You want discomfort, right? You want discomfort, stability. You want to be in your comfort zone. But Pluto is going to take you out as soon as you're trying to. The reason being is because you're meant for bigger things, and imagine such a chaos in life happening, through Pluto, like as soon as you're trying to relax, as soon as like people have things that are happening in a smooth way, right? For us, no, it's not like that. So we learn how to be stable through chaos, and that's the main lesson actually in this opposition, and I would say square as well. The only difference in square is that we are aware of both sides of ourselves, yet we are in denial, and we're in conflict. Like we can't embrace both sides, and we are kind of acting irrationally on the outside. You can't act from either, and you can't combine them, and you're like, you don't know what to do. It's like inner conflict, agitation, frustration. With people opposite moon, Pluto opposite moon, they completely reject Pluto, or they completely reject moon. Once Pluto has got a hold of them, let's say if Pluto has done so much unpredictable damage where it just conditioned them to stop relaxing or knowing how to relax, give up on that completely, say no to that part of themselves. See, that's what they think because they have opposition. They think that because those unpredictable, situations that are destructing, their flow, their comfort, they think that they need to reject them completely, right? Or to embrace them fully and reject the moon side. So that's how they only know how to deal with things. And that is the problem. So it's so easy to get conditioned by Pluto to just expect things to go bad, just to expect, the things not working out, just constant knowing of things being temporary. And, that even kills the desire to even want anything, right? So it's all coming from Pluto because you already know, very intuitive, the most intuitive, and everything you feel about people is real. Even though this is like one of the most difficult aspects, I would say that this aspect has the most potential to awaken and actually help other people. The ultimate ego death. Both are unconscious parts of you. Whereas with the sun, it's more of a conscious part of you. You think that it's okay to be this way. Whereas with moon, you understand that it's not okay because it's touching on your emotional comfort. You know what I mean? It's different. And once it touches on disturbs your emotional comfort, it can really condition you in a bad way. Whereas with Pluto opposite Sun, it's going to give more ego problems, like inflation of ego. With Moon opposite Pluto, it's like, yeah, these people can read people, know psychology really well. They can manipulate well. But that only happens because they've been there, on the other side. They've been on the receiving, end. And that's why they kind of understand what's up, and they usually attract people with also Pluto complexes, and they attract people with Moon in Scorpios, Sun in Scorpios, but usually Moon in Scorpios, Venus in Scorpios, Mercury in Scorpios, they do attract, and these people will always be remembered. Very intuitive, very intuitive, actually the most intuitive, especially if you have it in the 8th house. It's like hard to unsee things. So please let me know what you guys think about the square. Just to add a few more things, square is the conflict. Okay, so you may have both of these sides, the comfort, the part of you that wants comfort, stability, emotional stability, and whatever. It can be just watching something, just drinking tea, whatever, right? Just watching TikToks. It can be different for everyone. And then you have a different part of you that is stopping this from happening, which is Pluto saying, no, don't do that. And then you're in conflict, and then you're in inertia. You're like, you don't know what to do. That's how it can manifest. Like you're aware, Whereas with opposition, it's like, I want this, therefore I need to reject that. Or I'm destroying and I'm rejecting peace. Like I'm on the chaos side now. Hope this makes sense. Please let me know, guys, what you think in the comments. There's much more to this. Yeah, I can talk about this forever.